Hey everyone, so this week I want to talk about binging. Specifically, I want to look at kind of anything about binging for the other girls who are watching this, but I want to specifically talk about what to do the day after a binge, and how you can kind of pick yourself up and continue on recovery even though you may have lapsed, or had a relapse or whatever may have happened to slip. um, Kind of like what to look at the day after a binge and see how you can continue on the way to recovery, even though kind of the eating disorder is so fresh and so vibrant, symptoms wise. So, the first thing that I think that it's important to realize is that your meal plan and healthy, structured eating is not a bad thing. Um, this is saying that you are either under the care of a nutritionist, not some personalized, oh, I made myself this list of what I can eat in a day and what times I'm going to eat it. Basically, not following ed planned meal, but rather a positive, healthy one. And I think that the important thing to do um, if you're not under the care of a nutritionist, like I haven't been, and so I think the important thing is to eat healthy, even though it feels that everything in your gut says don't eat because you just binged yesterday. And I think that's one of the scariest thoughts, is thinking of the night before and all the damage that was done, and kind of seeing how your recovery was just shattered in one night. And the thing is, even though it may seem that way and it may seem like pieces are just everywhere, recovery is putting together the pieces of our lives. It's putting together our senses of self in order to recover and to beat this illness. And the day after a binge is so important to remember that it's pieces that we're coming from. And even though you had a lapse, a slip, whatever, that you can pick up and you can move forward and continue on the way to recovery. So the first thing that I would have to say is vital is sticking to a healthy eating or intuitively eating. Intuitively eating is recognizing your hunger signs, seeing if you're hungry or not. And this may sound like it should be easy, but it's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn. I'm still working on it. I'm nowhere. Well, actually, I'm somewhat, but not really, in that way that it's like, okay, um, I'm still like learning. Like, it's so funny. I have so many worksheets that are just like how to eat mindfully or how to eat intuitively. And I'm like, other girls my age don't have to do this. They don't have to go through and learn like every Monday evening at therapy that you eat and this is how you eat mindfully. They just don't do that. But again, they don't have eating disorders. So, anyway, getting off my tangent, I think the important thing to remember after a binge is to stick to healthy eating and eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner the next day. Um, One of the important things that I have learned in my own recovery is always to have like rules of thumbs and just things to keep on mind. And because I've struggled with restrictive um, symptoms, basically, like, it's been important to me to make sure that I'm eating. And I think, especially the day after a binge, we might want to kind of moderate our caloric intake in order to like kind of not go over and recompense for the night before, basically. But I think that it's important to remember that, like, again, your body's not going to run on a certain number of calories because you say it will. Your body needs food, it needs energy in order to function properly. And the best way to do that, like, is have those rule of thumbs that maybe you do stick only to food that you're comfortable with, and kind of don't push yourself too hard. But also, like, one of my rules of thumbs, especially the day after, I always feel like if I feel I binge the day after, it's like reinforced, is never exceed 4 hours. And it's like every 4 hours I have to eat something, because technically you are supposed to have multiple meals a day instead of 3 meals. And so, like, I'll go through a day having like 4 or 5 meals, and that's how it's supposed to be. And when I say meal, it could be like a snack. It doesn't. I'm not talking like a full 5 course meal of like ridiculousness, but having that kind of rule of thumb that the next day that you know you have to eat every like 4 hours just to know that you're eating, because then you'll be able to, yes, you'll feel awkward with food, but you'll be able to like recognize that whatever happened, whatever triggered the binge, like it has nothing to do with food, and food's just being the way that it's presenting itself. And I think like it sounds so much easier saying it than doing it, but I think it's just one of those things that you gotta trust me on. Just go with me. And you've trusted Ed for so long and listened to all his manipulative and deceitful lies and just everything that he's torn you down with. Um, so this is just a chance to give all of you guys recovery, like to just consider giving recovery a chance on those days when you're feeling gross, when you feel like you just, ugh, like, you know what I mean? Like after a binge, you just feel miserable. And it could be just a binge, it could be a binge purge, whatever. But definitely sticking to your meal plan is vital. Um, so definitely like keep that in mind, because you have to continue to eat healthy, because it's not the food. It's never been about the food. And yet food is the way it manifests itself. And I think that like by reinforcing that it's not about the food the day after a binge kind of gives you time to look at what's going on in order to cope and deal with it in a healthier way, rather than slip back or slip further into a relapse, and kind of put recovery on hold. So I think that's really what I wanted to share. Um, so for all the other girls this week, if you guys want to talk about anything in regards to binging, it could be the day after, how to cope with that. Really want to see how you'll do it, maybe just binging and how to prevent a binge. Something I figured that recently we've been doing a lot of kind of general topics, and I wanted to do something that's affected a lot of people, but I specifically wanted to make a video affecting people who have binge eating disorder too, because our videos are geared towards people with anorexia, bulimia, because that's what we've experienced. And I think that having a week specifically focusing not on regurgitating, not on purging, but on binging itself, can be helpful for everybody else too. So I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you do, or if you have any topics that you want us to address. So the question of the week is, this just came into my mind just because I'll tell you obviously when I answer it. What's one thing that your eating disorder has taken away that you're starting to claim back? I did musical theater for 5 years. I love it. It was so much fun, but like sophomore and junior year, I just couldn't audition because my eating disorder had isolated me to such a point that I had lost interest in everything. This tied in with the depression, that I just like was unable to enjoy the things that I once enjoyed. And so for 2 years, I couldn't do our school musical because I just like I couldn't do it. But like this year, things have been changing so rapidly in my recovery, and like everything's been thrown at me, and it's like a whole new light type of thing. But auditions are tomorrow for my school musical next year, and I am auditioning, and I'm so excited because it's something that like I do enjoy doing, and I have for years, but I kind of like just was put back because of my eating disorder. I wasn't able to do it, but this is something I'm honestly like really excited for. Really excited for auditions tomorrow, because I get to do it, and it's not going to be with an eating disorder. Like that to me is the best thing. Having this like where you don't specifically do something knowing that it would get you weight loss, or knowing that it would get you a way to manipulate your time in order to avoid meals. Like I want to do a musical because I want to do it, not because of some way that it could potentially feed my eating disorder. So that's really cool. But again, the question this week was, what is something that your ed has taken away from you, and how have you been claiming it back? Okay, I'm sorry, my dog's like bark, 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 bark. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. All of you are well, and yeah, I will talk to you guys soon.